Our Hotspots magazine will be celebrating 37 years this fall. It has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and is the spirit of our Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. And it's sponsored by the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. In the LGBTQ plus community, we always make the jokes about size matters. When it comes to Broward Center, size does matter. The Broward Center for the Performing Arts is the destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment in a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the entire world, presenting more than 700 performances a year to more than 700,000 patrons. Broward Center is also the home for LGBTQ plus entertainers, shows, Broadway, national drag performances, LGBTQ plus choral events, and so much more. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities of Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, and of course all of South Florida. They support that support of the LGBTQ plus community, and our nonprofits are unlike any support of any theater in South Florida. We are excited to tell you in the upcoming shows, the rich 2023 season, quarter one is underway at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. And they are going to bring you a wide variety of events that the LGBTQ plus community will love. Did you know, by the way, that surveys show that the LGBTQ plus community participate in live theater 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts? And that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. Okay, here we go. Whitney Houston. She is remembered as a queer icon and a dazzling artist. In the Kazi Lemons directed biopic, I Want to Dance with Somebody, this title track becomes a coming out anthem for the queer community. The review of this amazing and most awaited movie is now out, and the movie brings Houston down off the platform, pulls her up from the muck of the tabloids, and welcomes her into the empathetic embrace of the queer community, happy to claim her just as she always was. Though Houston's story ended tragically, her movie delivers us back to a climactic moment of her success. And also, her lesbian relationship with Robin Crawford is front and center in the movie, and how she interacts with church, her family, her career, and remember Bobby Brown?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Whitney Houston!
It's gonna feel like a big concert mixed with some really personal moments. There's a boy I know, he's the one I dream of.
What's your name again?
Whitney Elizabeth Houston.
This highlights Whitney the human, Whitney the person, Whitney the mother, the daughter, the wife, the girlfriend. In particular to my character, Robin Crawford, I just really want people to know the important, influential role that she played in Whitney's life. Wait, no, it's on, listen.
The she is Robin Crawford, who, according to extensive family research and interviews for the film, was Whitney's lover, friend, and confidant.
We've heard things here and there, but there's never been any confirmation of anything, and that's what this movie is going to highlight, their relationship in its full entirety and what they meant to each other.
Well, the world's most important record executive, Clive Davis, is also revealed to be gay in the movie. Our Hotspots Queer Entertainment headline of the week, first reviews of I Want to Dance with Somebody is Whitney Houston and Clive Davis. They were queer as fuck. What do y'all think?
I saw this and went through a little bit of an experience trying to tell other people to go see it, because nobody else had really seen it. And so I'm telling people and family, you've got to go see this. And the first thing out of their mouths, if they were straight, was, well, I've seen some not so great reviews. I'm like, well, I am the closest person that you know that's gay and a fan of her and that has seen it. So why is it my opinion more important than a Rotten Tomatoes review, when a lot of that movie review that we're seeing, I think, is political activism from the conservative side, trying to kind of bash down a gay movie, just like they did with Bros before it even came out. But I will tell you, the most surprising part of this movie for me was the scene with Bobby Brown. she goes through all of the drama, and they come back together, and they're sitting down at a bar, and he's trying to just apologize, and she basically says to him, the drugs were here before you. I don't blame you, and left him in a good space and moved on. I'm telling you, I've hated Bobby Brown for a decade and a half, just blaming because he was the easiest person to blame.
But you didn't. So you didn't.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
You didn't see any documentaries beforehand. I mean,
you?
there's been
No,
so
'cause
many things that have come out.
No, because her story always made me so sad that I did not want to focus
you didn't
on
want
it.
to sit through it.
But this one, I knew that it was really respectful. It wasn't going to be tabloidy. So no, that was my first exposure to Bobby Brown is not the devil.
Yeah. No,
Really?
we got that like a decade or two decades ago. Yeah.
in the
Now,
beginning.
Mark has seen the film. The rest of you have not. Why haven't you seen the film? No interest?
Christmas, New Year's been a little busy.
Yeah.
All right, just been a little busy trying to,
I'm just generally
start in
I'm not
2023.
the biggest movie goer in the world. I'm trying to get back into it. That's one of the things I'm trying to do for this year is actually watch anything.
You know, we have lots of
watch
viewers
anything.
right now are saying that's exactly why we should extend gay cards. And if you don't qualify for it, you don't get one.
Well, you know, if it's not a Marvel or DC or a superhero or karate,
There we
picture,
are.
I'm not going.
Bam.
So I'm not going to lie. However, I have, as a Whitney fan, as someone who's been a diehard from the very beginning, I do know her work. I do know how she supported Robin. Robin was in Where Do Broken Hearts Go, like the very beginning. Robin's been there. And so Robin, you know, was her childhood friend. And Robin was that person who was her protector. And so if you know her upbringings, you know, as a church person, sometimes you have to have those outlets, which was the drugs and the alcohol and things like that. And so that's where those kind of things is. And so I believe that love kind of started as my protector, as my friend, and then they became roommates, and those things that we knew along the way. And so I love the fact that at least this perspective is shown. You know, y'all have heard me say many, many times, I wish Whitney could tell her story, and we know she can't. But sometimes these stories are told through the eyes of someone else, reliving someone's memories, true or form.
And someone not wanting them to be gay.
And
you
right,
know?
and
Like, you know, I
absolutely.
was worried that it wouldn't be true to Robin. I was afraid that it would make her look in a bad light, and I've heard quite the opposite. from you. So-
She's very
the issue
powerful.
About the
And always.
storyline in the movie. The relationship with Robin is so upfront and center all the way through the movie, almost
And so
all the way
warm.
to the and warm. She's in a situation where this movie has come out and she's put in front of Sissy. She's put especially in front of the father, Whitney's father, in front of her church because Whitney was a church singer. Her career, the record company, Arista, Clive Davis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Since the movie has come out, almost without exception, there's no denial that the movie is not true. No denial.
You know what?
So it's
Absolutely.
beyond, I'm only suggesting it's beyond that. It's beyond protector, roommate, it moved into something romantic, but she really wasn't gay. She was gay.
And so I agree with you. And so here's, if you go through the history and you watch Whitney's her journey, as I said, Robin was there from the beginning. She told us in many interviews that was her friend. Robin did, you know, travel with her. Robin was there from the start all the way up until Bobby and her got into a situation.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. And so I love the fact in reading and doing this and researching of this, how it's allowing her to be positive and not be negative.
Yeah.
And so, and it's always, even the drugs, even Whitney's dabble in alcohol and drugs. That was there.
Life.
Her
Her life
her
and
brother.
alcohol and drugs.
What do
so-
we think of the idea that that everyone around her attempts to shame her into the closet for her career, and that created and added the complication to her life?
It's sad, and obviously we all know the end of the movie, you know, but it's like, how different would life be if she was able to be out of the closet? You know, as someone that I turned down a job because they wanted me to be the straight girl, and I was like, I can't be this person. I can't. And I can't tell you that I didn't kick myself a couple times later on, going, wow, I could have been further in my career if I would have just done it. You know, she had to. She wanted to be the huge star that she became, and she could not do that while being queer. She just couldn't.
And it was one of the warmest, I think, moments about Robin is that they're having that discussion where Whitney says, you know, basically, look, I've got to date a guy, and I'm sorry. And Robin is the bigger person, and basically, you know, because I love you and I want you to have the life that you want. I'm not going to give you a bunch of crap about that. And I'm just
And
going to
never
I'm
left
just going to be your friend
never left
and
you.
stay
Never left
beside
you.
you.
See, this is
the
a
entire
movie
time.
that I wish my mom was still alive, and I think of my mom when I watch this. See, like
She liked
the
Whitney?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Sorry.
no. That
would make sense, Faye.
The interesting part about it is why I think about it is because when I came out to my mom, she was trying to convince me that gay is this new thing. And that, you know, these
was
people are not
invented.
gay. This is not, you know, people back in my time were not gay. People back in the 80s, whatever. The only thing that she had to kind of lock into was the AIDS crisis. And that's what I was always fighting with her, was that I was like, it's not just this. And I said, there are so many people that you have no idea that are gay.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't know that Whitney, you know, was gay or queer or whatever, you know, label. And so I said, you know, that's Robin Roberts person that you're watching. And I said, you know, she's a lesbian. And this person's a lesbian. And Tchaikovsky was gay. And all of these incredibly amazing, influential, talented people are gay. And I would tell her, I was like, so you should be proud of your gay son being part of this, you know, group of
Good
people.
for you. Good
So,
for you.
you know, when I see this, and I know my mother thought she was just the most, I mean, she wasn't a fan, but I mean, she thought she was an incredible singer. And I'm like, look at this, not just from Whitney, but also the person who discovered her, Clive Davis, is gay. And this person that was supporting her was gay. And look at all the shit that they have to go through
Endure.
to try, you know, and I was like, and do you want to be part of that shit?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Do they
look
wanna-
at this.
Do you want to do that to your son?
Yeah.
And
It's
so
a
Well,
very-
Trini,
to your
she's
question,
seeing it now, honey.
Yeah.
She's seeing it now.
I want to ask, are y'all going to see the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going
Oh,
Friday.
I absolutely am. I am
Come
going to
with me
go.
on Friday.
Absolutely, I am going to go. And so to your point about her having to suppress who she wants to be because she saw stardom first, and so many others who had to. I mean, again, she was the voice, and people often talk about how our community didn't support or whatever, but she had a bigger vision, and she still did all the work. Think about the makeup artist. Think about the dancers. Think about all those gay folks that she brought along with her to that ride.
Yeah.
So I guess
you know, I had an interesting experience. One last thought on Whitney Houston. I had an interesting experience this week that I didn't expect I would have, and that was Ricky Martin and Barbara Walters. We did a report of the story of Barbara Walters talking about the biggest regret of her entire career was Ricky Martin. And her 2000 interview with Ricky Martin, where she was so harshly intrusive on whether he was gay or not, and that she pushed and pushed and pushed and created a situation where there was no conclusion. And many people believe that it was really where the superstardom path that Ricky Martin was on ended, because she outed him so badly that he couldn't recover from it. And we reported on it this week in Queer News about Barbara Walters because of her passing. But it's interesting to me, somebody when we were discussing the story said, you know, he chose that. He chose to hide. He deserved to be pushed out because he couldn't be authentic with himself. Now, whether you agree with that or not is not really, I think, the relevant point. Whitney Houston was artificially kept in a place that creates a tick that goes on and worsens and worsens and worsens to conclusion. And you see this process in the movie, ultimately to that night at the Beverly Hills Hilton. Ricky Martin, and somebody makes the point in our conversation, was actually aided, even though it was terrible what Barbara Walters did to him. And it was nice that she came back and apologized and said it was the greatest mistake of her entire illustrious career, but that Ricky Martin was actually better off because the path he was on was so unauthentic that something terrible would have happened because he would have been so in the closet. And as he got older and older, alcohol, drugs, regret, whatever, could lead to a Whitney situation.
earlier. Absolutely.
I think that is, and I've thought about Ricky Martin all week long because of it.
For that reason only?
Yeah, well, and others.
He's brown, you know. Again, he's a Latin guy. He's brown. You know, Al.
Exactly,
You know how
right.
Al loves.
Is
But
he
that is
Cuban?
so awesome. But
Wait.
I love that.
Oh, he's
Puerto
not.
Rican,
He's
baby.
Puerto
I
Rican.
love that. But he still loves it.
But exactly.
But I love
But
that.
it's
That's
interesting
truth.
from the standpoint of Ricky Martin is an incredible talent. He's never going to be Whitney Houston, and he's outed in a way where it changes the course of his path, where he can marry multiple times, he can have children, he can have a degree of richness in his life that Whitney Houston clearly never had. And that's what this movie is all about. I encourage all of you to go and see it. Mark and I know something about it. All right. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.